like to kick every episode off by going around the table, which is where we talk about something new, fun, and noteworthy about our weeks. Luke, we don't often start with you. Why don't you tell us about your week?
All right. Okay, so this week, man, I tore out part of our kitchen. We have, you know how we had that like little...
In anger?
Yeah, I was really mad, so I just tore
Rachel
out part of the kitchen.
Like, just really pissed you off?
Yeah,
so
no.
you just...
No,
Is your 7-part Risk game done yet?
Yeah, I didn't win.
Okay. But this isn't connected to that.
No.
Okay.
I was so mad.
I was so mad I came home and tore up some of the kitchen. No, so we're getting new flooring in our living room and our kitchen and our hallway. And we have that little like weird countertop that's like 6 inches lower than the rest of our countertops, and it juts out in the middle of the room. And I tore it out this week. So our whole kitchen and dining room is like way more open, and it seems bigger, which is good because that will help resale value if we ever move, which is cool.
It was like the countertop equivalent of an above ground pool.
Yeah. It was fine, but it wasn't right, you know?
Yeah. It wasn't going to turn any heads.
Yeah, no. It was just kind of there. It just collected mail and just random junk that the kids would bring home from school.
Your pool collects mail.
No, the
countertop. I do feel like this lost the metaphor at some point.
I just imagine you just throwing old mail into a pool.
Bill, man.
Don't want to pay this. Don't want to pay this.
Okay.
So I did that, and then the other thing, 2 more things. I started listening to a book that I'd listened to or read, I don't know, a couple years ago, but it's Bone Shaker by Sherry Priest. And it's kind of end of like the 1800s, kind of maybe like 1870s. It's a little steampunky, and it takes place in Seattle. And the idea is that this Seattle has been overrun, like the middle of the city, by this kind of blight. Somebody created a steampunk drilling machine and unearthed this blight kind of fog, and there's like zombies and stuff. And it's the story of this kid who goes in there to try and find some answers about his family. And it's really cool. It's really good. But I revisited it because it was I found it in my Audible, and I was like, oh man, this is really good. I want to listen to it, and I hope it's going to be made into a movie or a TV show. It's like I feel like it's perfect for it, but I haven't heard anything.
How old's the kid in the book?
15.
Okay. So when you're listening to so something like that, books, audiobooks, like you're kind of imagining the scenery and you're injecting that into it. Do you just put your kids in the lead roles? Like, no,
they're not old enough yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I would say if they were older, maybe.
It would be really hard to do that in my opinion, because you already have in your mind what your kid is, and if their name is the same, that would be different. Like if I was reading a character whose name was Cooper, it would be hard for me to not picture Cooper. But I think if the character's name is,
this character's name is Zeke,
right? So like if the character's name is Zeke, I would never naturally picture my own kid.
I would say probably a mix for me. I would say if let's say Jonas, who's 10, if he was 15, I would imagine probably some of the ways that the character responds in the story. I would imagine Jonas and how, if he's ever responded that way to something, and try and like maybe get a better idea of what that looks like.
It's not more right, but it's not so much about you picturing that character as your kid as much as it is being able to relate to it.
Right, exactly. Yep, right? You're right. Yeah. Yep. So anyway, it's a great story. If you like steampunk kind of stuff at all, give it a listen. And then the last thing is this is a guilty pleasure. I'm not too proud of it, but I'm really enjoying it. I started watching American Idol, like this season of American Idol.
Okay. Is Andrew on it?
What? Is Andrew on it? No, he didn't make it. He tried though, man, so that's good. there's something about watching people have a chance to fulfill their dreams that like I just freaking love it. I eat it up. And I don't know. Like I don't know why I care that I like it or feel like I shouldn't like it. I like it. It's good. So
Andrew, what song did you sing for your audition?
A Whole New World.
No, it was Jason Mraz. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but it was Jason Mraz.
Wordplay.
It wasn't wordplay.
Why?
Because it wasn't wordplay.
Well, that's why you didn't make it.
No. It was whatever
it was
the
Mr.
one
A
that
to
was
Z.
like his. It was whatever his big one was at the time that I auditioned. Is what I did.
You and I both.
Nope. I'm yours. I'm yours.
Oh,
I'm yours.
yeah, that's the other one. Those are the three I know.
Did you make it through like the first round?
No. No, and maybe someday when we have 16 hours for an episode, I'll explain all of the politics behind it. But it really is an absolute crapshoot. It's not necessarily if you don't make it, it doesn't mean that you're not good. I'm not saying this to make myself feel better. This is legit. Like there are people who I think were way better than me who didn't make it. And it so much has to do with what song you're singing and how many times the producers who you're singing it to have heard it already. And if they're tired of it, if someone in the previous group before you just got through, you're not going to make it through, even if you're amazing. And it's so there's so many opportunities. Like
it's really subjective, was what you're saying. The whole selection process is subjective. It's not really based on talent.
It's not like, oh yeah, you can do this, you can do this, you're in. It's not like that at all.
Right.
It's totally it's just a crapshoot.
Which sucks, but at the same time, if you think about how many people come through those auditions in the cities,
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
You have to do it that way.
Our audition day, the arena could seat like 17,000 people, and I think there were like 10 to 12,000 people auditioning.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And it's seriously, it's like
the
cattle,
producers would love to just look at a section and be like, "Section H, go home."
How much time did you have? Like
you get 30 seconds. You line up. I just said someday I'll explain this, but I'll give you the condensed version. You line up four people across, 3 to 4 rows deep.
Yeah,
like a cattle call. When they tell you to go, you step forward. That person gets 30 seconds, then they step back. The next person gets 30 seconds, then they step back. 30 seconds, step back. 30 seconds, step back, and then you all stand there while the 3 producers confer with each other, and then they'll tell you whatever it is they're going to tell you. Typically, like 99.9% of the time, they say go down this hallway, and then that very rare 0.1% of the time, they'll send one person down this other hallway where Ryan Seacrest is, and all of that's where they get all your information, and they get your story.
Sure.
And they determine whether or not you're going to be somebody worth following around with the camera crew and all that stuff. That's how they get all the videos and stuff.
Right.
But it's seriously, that's how it works. And then that next group of people steps forward, and and they're constantly backfilling it. And there were probably at least 10 to 15 tables. Each table had 3 producers at it.
Sure.
They were just divided off at the bottom of the arena by pipe and drape. So that's it.
Yeah.
That's how it works. I mean, they usher so many people through there over the course of the day. It's nuts. Yeah.
I would have opened my mouth and then thrown up and then just gone ahead and walked down the hallway.
You probably would have made it through.
It's not really. I mean, when you see the process, it's really not as intimidating.
Because it's so it's so regimented that you don't really have time to think through actually what's happening.
You don't have time. Yeah, that's the reality of it. It's so fast.
But anyway, the show, it's on CBS now or whatever. It's not on Fox anymore. And it's Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, and Luke Bryant. And I don't know, man. I like it. It's good. So I
like the song Dancing on the Ceiling. So that's enough for me to watch an episode.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's it. Patrick.
Okay.
Your week.
Listen, guys.
No. He was calling you weak.
You're weak.
You are weak.
Listen, guys. Let your geek side show.
Okay.
That's clever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your
is
geek
that-
sideshow.
Here's the thing. This week, I opened my mailbox because I ordered a shirt. The shirt didn't come in, so I'm still wearing this same shirt. But what
That
was
he's
in
been
there,
wearing for the last 6 months.
there's a new shirt on the way, everybody. However, this box
Your
was in
2018
there.
shirt.
I was not expecting this box, so I opened it.
Whoa, it's not open.
Yeah, that's how you know something's fancy when you have to open it a second time
Oh.
to open it. Okay, so apparently there's something to do with some game or something. Court of the Dead. It's
Yes.
an original Sideshow property,
Yeah.
and so
Oh,
they're
man.
talking about that on this inside piece. But this is what's awesome. This box, hold on, let me set it aside, has this really incredible art book inside of it. It's
Ooh.
inside the Sideshow studio.
That's awesome.
Very high quality printing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to show it to everybody at the same time. We all know I'm bad at this point. Showing like pictures of sculpting and taking pictures and
Nice.
painting
That's awesome.
and file cabinets and there's like some quotes in here from people and things
I
like
love
that.
that you decided to highlight the file cabinets.
That's the distinction
the
for
page
you.
and file cabinets, I don't know what to tell you. Incredibly high quality. I mean, like very heavy paper, very like the
It's a well-produced book.
it's a very well produced book. It just feels like a slightly small coffee table book.
Sure.
And if you have a small coffee table, great book.
Yeah, or if you already have 15 other books on your coffee table, it's a perfect fit.
Yes. Now, in addition to that, let me see if I can flip this around again. It also came loaded with gift cards.
What?
So I've got $75 off any Court of the Dead item,
Nice.
$100 off any legendary scale figure, $50 off anything in stock, and $25 off a framed art print. I said framed. Don't worry about it.
Dang.
And it came with a pin. That's a Sideshow pin as well, which I'll
Aw,
never be.
that's
That's awesome.
Let's see if we can focus. There it goes right there. Geek
Nice.
Sideshow. But to get something you're not expecting, and certainly, again, it's like an advertising piece.
Sure.
Good job.
very
This is
well
an
done advertising piece.
incredibly well done piece.
I remember seeing at Comic-Con the whole Court of the Dead. That was right after we had talked to David Igo from Sideshow. And we saw their whole Court of the Dead like setup. And I fell in love with like that IP because it was their original IP and it's very like dark fantasy, like there's like, you know, magic and necromancy and all that kind of fun stuff. And then through Instagram now, I've seen a whole bunch of like teases about the game. So they have a game coming out based on that IP that looks, I don't know exactly what it is. It looks something kind of like a Massive Darkness or maybe like The Others or some sort of like role playing game with minifigures and stuff. It looks really awesome. So
Yeah, so
but it's being put out with its Sideshow and Project Raygun, who did The Thing.
Oh, that's
great.
Yeah, the game. Yeah.
So anyway, very, very cool, very unexpected. So a very cool thing to do. It's a very cool surprise to get, is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. Very, very well done. It's honestly, like, I've only ever bought one figure from Sideshow, which happens to be sitting beside me, which is the Baby Groot figure. This is the only piece I've ever picked up from them. And in the scope of things that Sideshow makes and sells, it's actually a pretty inexpensive piece.
Sure.
And this just feels I don't know, it feels
A lot of value given back.
a lot of value. Thank you. Man, you're so good at talking, Andrew.
I do it almost professionally.
I don't know if I've told you that recently, but I like when you talk. So anyway, that's the big thing. Beyond that, I've gotten a bit addicted to a game that is not a new game, a game called Plague Inc. It's been around since 2012, and I'm just very late to the party. If you go to the App Store, the games category, you're going to see it's top 3. As far as reviews and playing and things like that. Basically, you just try to kill the entire world using either like a virus or a bacteria. It's just, man, it is addictive. And it's cool the way they throw in kind of some current, whether it's political, social commentary, climate.
Sure.
Because you're seeing like a news ticker the whole time. And so it adds a bit of levity to the game. But it's really fun. So if you're looking, I won't go into the gameplay, but if you're looking for a way to kill some time, if let's say you've got some type of bowel problem and you're spending a lot of time in the bathroom, I would recommend Plague Inc.
Yeah.
That's the strongest recommendation I can give. So, Andrew.
Wait, back to Plague Inc. for 1 second. There's a board game of it too that came out last year, I think.
You can buy the board game through the app.
Yeah.
And it's not that expensive. And I like this close to buying it. And then I said, actually, let me go read the reviews on it and then I'll decide. And
reviews are okay. I haven't played it, obviously, but I played a ton of the mobile game. So
because he has bowel obstruction.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah, just a ton of obstruction. He is full of crap.
And on that note, Andrew.
All right, so
I don't like hearing you talk as much when you say stuff like that.
Yeah, I know you don't, but I'm going to push through anyway.
It's been good for me.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny. I was listening back to some episodes. I've gotten through several books on Audible, and I just kind of took a couple day hiatus off of books. And so when I was working out yesterday and today, I listened to some of our episodes and to catch up on some of I like listening back to especially the ones with guests because I can just enjoy the interview as opposed to actively asking questions and things. But in the process of listening back, I realized that Luke and I gang up on you a lot.
I know.
I know that it happens in real time, but when you listen to a bunch of episodes consecutively, back to back, I'm like, oh man, we every time you start a category, it takes at least 3 minutes for you to get to what you're talking about because we are just giving you shit.
Great. That serves as confirmation to me.
Good. Yeah. Because you've always felt ganged up on. You just didn't know if it was true or not, but it is.
So you made the comment about when you go back and listen, you can actually pay attention to the guests.
Yeah.
It is no joke that 25% of the information I hear from a guest when I re-listen, it feels like brand new information.
Feels new, yeah. Yeah, because and that might sound cold or harsh or whatever, but it's just the reality. Anybody who interviews people, you're constantly having to you're active listening, but active listening doesn't allow you to absorb everything. It allows you to pick up on cues so you can, make the most out of the conversation. And so you don't always just to get to sit and relax and listen.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's another story. But anyway, I had a really great mail week that came out of nowhere. Chandra ordered something for me, but I'm going to hold off and talk about that for my master category because it's really, really rad. A couple of things that have happened this week. This is happening next week, but I'm really excited about Ready Player One. It comes out next week. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
The latest trailer got me so pumped for it.
It's really good. Also, the Avengers Infinity War Alamo Drafthouse is doing the couple of pint glasses, but they haven't revealed the art for them yet or shown who's doing them. But Matt Taylor is doing all of the pins.
Yeah.
So it's all the profile pins of Star-Lord and Spider-Man and a couple of the other Avengers. So I'm really excited to see that. That's just in 5 weeks. But tickets are already on sale for that. This week, I have been watching the show Sneaky Pete.
Yeah. Giovanni Ribisi.
This show is great. If you've never watched it, it's an Amazon original show, and it's like Luke just said, it's Giovanni Ribisi, who you'd recognize as Phoebe's brother from Friends. He's been in 1,000 other things too, but that's
Mod
where
Squad,
I
man.
really. What?
The Mod Squad movie.
Yes, I've never seen the Mod Squad movie.
What?
Yeah, I haven't. And Bryan Cranston in the first season is in there. He's one of the creators of the show, or he's at least a producer. But it's a really, really great. I'm not going to give it a full review, but it's a really fun like Ocean's 11-y type of story. It's this guy who gets out of jail and essentially he's a con artist, and he takes this guy's identity and tries to make right with the guy who got him who he kind of screwed over, Bryan Cranston, to get him in prison. And then season 2, at the end of season 1, you think everything is good to go. And have you seen both seasons, Luke?
No. So I watched the pilot. Amazon put the pilot out like a year and a half ago, and I thought it was a new season. So I watched the first episode and I was like, what? Where's the rest of it? And then heard nothing until the last month.
Okay. Well, so season 1 ends. You think everything is fine, and then there's a cliffhanger at the end of it. Fortunately for me, I picked it up when season 2 had already released, so I was able to just go right away and watch season 2. Season 2 dives into a whole nother realm. It's really, really well done. The acting is superb. The story is very captivating. The characters are great. It's a binge-worthy show. Like I watched it until almost 4 a.m. to finish season 2, just because I couldn't stop watching. I wanted to know what was going to happen. So, Sneaky Pete, it's on Amazon. Go check it out. There's 10 episodes per season, so it's not that bad of you could you could binge it in 3 or 4 days.
Cool.
And be good. And then the other thing is, I've been playing catch up on a lot of stuff lately, because there's been a lot of extra stuff on my plate recently, and just without going into any of that, it's just been crazy. And so last night I decided I finally have gotten caught up on some freelance work. I've been able to kind of get my feet underneath me and take a breath. And so I decided to clean up my desktop on my laptop, and then go one step further and clean up my downloads folder. So
You leave stuff in your downloads folder?
yeah.
No, not everybody is you, Patrick.
Yeah.
Someone today said, hey, can you just, I just need an MP3 to test something out. Can you just grab one off your computer? I said, there's not an MP3 on my computer. And they're like, no, just go to your Searchlight and just search for an MP3 and just grab one. And I did, and there's literally not an MP3 on my computer. Like,
You are not the norm. Like,
No, you're not.
You are not the norm. So anyway, I sat for, I don't know, cleaned up my desktop. It took me about 30 minutes. Because when I actively work on files, like when I'm actively working on podcast episode artwork or client work or whatever, I leave active assets on my desktop while I'm doing that. And then when I'm done, I clean it up. Well, the problem is I haven't been doing the cleanup afterwards. So I spent about 30 minutes cleaning up my desktop. And then, no joke, for an hour and 45 minutes, almost 2 hours, I went through my downloads and threw stuff away that I didn't need anymore, or moved stuff over to like where it should be categorized or whatever for an hour and 45 minutes. And I feel like I'm looking at my computer right now and everything is cleaned up. Everything feels nice. I ran an update. I took stuff off of my dock that I don't use anymore, like that kind of stuff. And it feels like just a weight is off of my shoulders. It's crazy how much you can feel bogged down. I think I cleared like 50 gigs worth of stuff off of my computer.
Wow.
That I just didn't need anymore. So, and I'm sure I could take even more off if I actually sorted through stuff that I really don't use anymore, like client work from 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But I still keep all that archived. And if I was smart, I would probably get some I'd archive it somewhere in the cloud and then get it off of my computer. But as for now, I'm fine on storage. But anyway, that felt great. Like, it felt great to kind of get that back up and get in order. And man, it just feels good.
You posted a couple gems from the podcast on our Patreon section.
Oh yeah, that's right. So that our patrons benefited from me cleaning things up, because I found some old outtakes, like old outtakes, like from like month 4 of the podcast outtakes. And they are good. They are much funny. So if you're not a patron, there's a plug for you right there. Go ahead.
I feel more proud of that stuff now than I did then.
I feel the opposite.
If you look at it though, like, so much has changed, right?
I know.
And not just so much has changed. It's so, like, the quality of what we do has, like, if you ever question like if what we do now is better than what we did then, all you have to do is go back and watch one of those things, and you're like, oh my gosh. I can't believe we were even able to make it past 3 months when you go back and look at that stuff. So, but anyway, that's a lot of fun. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see show notes and links to the stuff we talked about in this portion of the show. You can also find that at mof1podcast.com, and as well as you can find like an archive with hundreds of episodes that you can go back if you're really bored and just want to take some time listening to podcasts. You have your fill over at mof1podcast.com. While you're there, you can also join our Slack community. Just go to mof1podcast.com/Slack to join that community. That's a ton of fun. We're talking with people day in and day out, sharing ideas, seeing people's work, helping each other out, just posting really random fun GIFs, whatever. It's a great place to come and have community. And while you're thinking about community and supporting things, you can go ahead and go to patreon.com/mof1podcast and throw a couple dollars in the monthly bucket. And that will help us out so much. And it helps us continue to build and do what we do and get better and better, hopefully. And so if you want to do that, that would be super helpful. Otherwise, you can support the show for free just by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, YouTube, anywhere we're at. Just share, like, subscribe, comment. Question? I don't question it. Just comment. And we'll have a good time with that. Hey, we are like 1 week away from Crop, and holy cow, it's going to be a ton of fun. I don't think they've sold out yet, but they're very, very close if they haven't. Come join us in Baton Rouge. It's going to be so much fun. And then the week after that, we will be in Columbus, Georgia for our annual pilgrimage to Creative South.
Yeah.
And we have some fun stuff in store for people who are joining us in our workshop. Patrick, tell them what it's all about.
You can win a free car.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Is that true?
But I don't think people genuinely believe us anyway. So the workshop, and it's going to be a bit dependent on the people that are there, but it's going to be teaching you the ins and outs of podcasting. So for the people that sign up about a week before the event, there'll be a survey that goes out that allows us to gather more information so we can really tailor it to the people that are there. But in addition to the information, which is very valuable, if we could go back in time and do this again, this is something that we would seek out.
I would have listened to us.
Yeah, this is something we would seek out. But in addition to the information, there will also be some giveaways and some other things. So I'm trying to be very vague, but it'll be worth your time. That's for sure. So, and the thing is, Creative South, it's a once a year thing for a lot of the people that go. It could be the only event you actually make it out to for the year.
Yeah.
So do it up big.
Yeah.
Purchase a ticket, get it all in one place.
And we are kicking off the workshops. Like, we are the very first thing for Creative South this year. Like, we are the bookend.
If you're coming,
the
bring
opening
coffee.
Act. Yeah, that's true.
I'll take it just black.
Yeah.
But that's it for now. We're going to get out of this episode, and we'll see you on the Master Category episode. I'm Andrew.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Luke.
Peace out.
Bye.
Hold on to your butts.